Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Call of Drama, okay? As if you thought the TFSBR bullshit wasn't enough, then we got the MFD versus BTX drama for the US rewards. I know there's some third KVK that got drama, and today I'm bringing you a drama but from the new Kingdoms, which is Kingdom 629, okay? So I'm gonna give you a bit of a situation of what's going on there, and then I'm gonna go through the information that was provided by one side and then the information that was provided by the other side, okay? So you can have a bit of an unbiased take. But yeah, let's start. Let's go to 689. I think they're here maybe. Yeah, so this is the Kingdom 629 TK. So right now they're on final zone. They had control of the dragon, but things got a bit out of hand. I'm not sure how they are doing right now. Okay, seems TK is back to pushing Born flags. So the first time I saw this KVK, by the way, in Born there's another YouTuber called One-Eyed, so I recommend you go check him out. The first time I saw this KVK, you see this choke point, the Born and TPF were behind it. They were around here, which is really hard to push through this choke point. And then suddenly shit started to go down inside 629, okay? Pretty much, like what I understood is 629 is comprised of three kingdoms that merge into one, okay? Now, the leadership was split, there were rotations of R5, and the main issue is it seems the leadership from different kingdoms didn't really get along, and that ended up exploding in this final zone, ending up with, pretty much what happened is a part of the 629 group decided to leave. They went into another shell, and right now they're trying to take the dragon from home kingdom while they're getting pushed into the zone. Okay, I think they kind of got back into, they got the control back, because pretty much I see them, they're kind of freeborning, so I guess they're good in the KVK map, but we should see on the home kingdom. Home kingdom, as you can see here, territory is touching. So far no one's burning, and as you can see, some territory got disconnected. This is mainly because those players that I mentioned, they joined this alliance called AFK. Well, let me see if I can find the flag. Okay, this is not loading. Yeah, so they joined this alliance. The main person is Mighty Astra, this guy here. Okay, so they joined this alliance and they started trying to take the dragon. Right now, I'm not sure if they're done with it or I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest. But I'm gonna start providing some proof and some receipts of what developed in this kingdom. Okay, I'm gonna start first with the part of TK, which you could say they are the part that's still fighting for this KVK. So I found out about this because suddenly I see a post on Discord, on Code Discord, which is this one. This is the first thing I saw, ping from Astra. Everyone, I don't want to answer 1000 PMs at once, so in short terms, join LTK if you are on my team, which will be AFK. Join TK if you are on other people's team. Great servers to join outside of 629 in same seat as us is RS1604, sub us at 611 and NLP at 615. A-seat kingdoms don't try to apply unless 20 mil plus merits and 100 mil plus power. Server is fucked, I send an apology to everyone, but I POW R4 team, okay? And you will see that this is the main issue this kingdom had, which was the relationship between the IPOW R4 team with the Astra members or groups, okay? Now I'm gonna bring some more information. So the guy that posted this on Discord, I asked him, I was like, okay, what happened? You know, like, I see there's some drama, I have a friend, which is the other YouTuber in that kingdom. I see now they're getting pushed, what happened? What's going on? He said, so 629 is a merge of 624, which I'm pretty sure is IPOW kingdom, 634 and 637. We agreed to move to this kingdom and fight together. At first we agreed to share R5 rotation, but their R5 is Astra is a, I'm not gonna say this word, guy who always called people names. Then our R4 from 65, which is the IPOW, don't like his attitude. We asked him to stop, but he did not stop. Then at 20 UTC yesterday, he owns R5 in Discord for Alliance, he kicked everyone out and TP back to our home kingdom with his migrants, mostly T5 to try to steal our dragon. Now, I gotta say, I don't think he kicked everyone out. I think maybe he removed perms or something like that, not fully kick out. And yeah, most of the people that I've seen in the AFK shell are like 100 mil power players, but yeah. So first, initially, you already can tell that there's some drama going on between two parts of the leadership, and pretty much Astra is being accused of being rude and, I mean, mouthing and calling names, while the other ones are kind of fed up with this attitude. Okay. In theory, this led to Astra kicking everyone from the Discord and all of that. That's one side of the story. That's the information I have from the TK Alliance, and I'm gonna move into the information that I have from the other side, which, I mean, I think it's pretty much obvious that this is actually true what happened, that is like a fight, like inner fight between leadership, but I will let you judge who was more on the right or the wrong. Now, I gotta mention, One-Eyed Born told me like several times about this Astra guy, on like he spoke about it on his streams, and how this guy is like war leads really well, has good strategies implementation, and I do believe from what I've heard from both sides that is actually true. He was the main war lead for 629. Okay, so I spoke with Mighty Astra. It was a bit like, what can you tell me? At first he was like really not interested. He said that I was doing this for views and everything, which is fucking completely true. Okay, that's the main reason I'm doing this. But another reason is because this kingdom, because it's in KVK with like another kingdom where One-Eyed Born is, I was like actually curious. Plus, these types of implosions don't really happen like that often. Okay, like it's not just pure views, it's a bit of curiosity on my own. So pretty much at the end he told me, I don't want to really litigate what happened, everyone already knows the facts from inside the game, I made the choices I made consciously, I accept the consequences, and I don't plan to offend myself through YouTube drama. The people who played alongside me already understands why. I ask you to PM my people, and and those are the Air Force inside, AFK give you their part instead. Which I did. I was thankful. I was like, okay, at least, you know, I'm getting somewhere. Because initially he was like, I don't care, you know, like just say whatever you want. If you want to throw shit at me, I just don't care. Which he was like, that's not the intention, but most likely is how it's gonna look at the end if I only explain one side of the story. So yeah, I told him I'll do that, and then I contact some of the Air Force. One literally just answers immediately back, and he provided me a lot of context. Okay, so everything starts around the gate 4. So Astra was our war lead in TK, we faced Burn at gate 4 and they used some defense that they saw in all their kingdoms, but we did fairly well against it. At some point Astra had to leave to do real life stuff, and he was already online for like 10 plus hours and told them what to do. Now you will see that this what to do is one big part of the problem. But they didn't listen because they think they know everything better, so they tried to do their own tactics but failed, leading Born into rebuilding everything we worked for in 4 to 6 hours. Now I think here is when I'm most likely certain that Astra said some mean words, because again, like if you're grinding the game for 10 hours, you tell people what to do, you come back, and it's not that they just didn't do what you asked for, is that they did something else, and that something else caused you to lose 4 to 6 hours of progress. I get it, I will be mad at you, okay? I don't know if I will be calling certain words, but I will be mad because it's like, come on, you just had to do one thing. And like again, you already can tell here that the leadership's like this is the issue with merges. You can do a merge and everyone is like in good sync and everything works fine, or you can do a merge and people start like having too much ego, too much like I'm right, no I'm right, and then everything implodes. Which seems to be what happened with 629. For basically free, that's the core point of Astra leaving TK. So Astra, when he saw this, he was done. He probably said the mean words that the other guy was telling me he said. Yes, and he said, fuck this, I'm out. Then he proceeds to explain me why they followed him. Why we know followed him is the pure fact that the little French group in the lead team tried to move our Air Force out of position. You have to know that the alliance was a merge between T1, IPO, and XX. So we are former T1 and have a problem with the leader team from IPO side. So here is where I'm starting to get a bit spooky, because look, you might have differences with like other Air Force. You might like, sure, him calling you like nasty words is not nice, but you shouldn't like abuse that. Just think about this. They go into like time slots, okay? So for example, from, I don't know, from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. there's one R5, and then they rotate to another R5. They are using that gap of time that they have to kick T1 Air Force out of their leadership position, which I think is not really a good move. That probably should then have been done at least mid KVK. Like, for me, the issue of all of this, you can solve all of these leadership problems outside final zone, but you're doing all of this while you're winning the final zone, which is the crazy part. Like, imagine if they were losing that, like, it would have been like a supernova. So yeah, I think this was on wrong side by the TK to kick those Air Force. So we are former T1 and have a problem with the leader team from IPO side. So pretty much there's two factions inside this merge that are having conflicts between each other. Here I tell him, yes, I heard the main issues between you and IPO, which is what the other guy told me, that it was pretty much an IPO R4 that was not having any more of the mean words. And then I asked him, I saw that you were telling people to go to RS1 SOP and LP, but it still seems your group is trying to take control of Home Kingdom. You planning on staying or migrating? I don't think this question ever got answered. I'm not 100% sure. Now, he follows developing. Main problem was we told them so many times during wartime we need Air Force online and Air Force to rotate, please. They didn't, and removed us to Air 3 positions while having 3 open Air Force slots and 4 Air Force offlines. So pretty much, I think this is wrongdoing on the side of TK. But again, I guess at this point the trust is broken. Both sides are already like antagonists to each other, and they say like, you know, F8, we're gonna take control of this in case something happens. You know, you're always with the fear of, if I give them Air 4 or Air 5 because their time slot comes in, what if they do the same to us? It's just a really ugly position to be in. So yeah, pretty much seems the T1 leadership part got kicked out from Air Force and like removed from being Air 5. I guess that's when Astra removed their roles from the Discord. And I asked him, after they did that, like, did they do that after the pass fail or since the start? Because that for me is important. Because maybe they were okay, but since the pass thing that happened, everything went to shit, or it was always like having internal conflicts. We tried to make plans to build for Final Zone, but already the French side ignored our team and said, this guy Kirby, that he already made a plan for Final Zone, or just simply completely ignored our messages. Like, again, this, you know, like the crazy part is you have a war lead, which is Astra, which is showing success because he was the main war lead. He was winning every single zone with his planning and his strategies. So why ignore him? It's just like, this to me right now screams a bit of ego and like wanting to be the one ruler over all the others, because it doesn't really make sense, you know? Like if someone shows up and they're doing great, keep letting them do great and win the goddamn KVK. So yes, pretty much seems they were disregarding T1 opinions or plannings. He tells me that this happened from the pass onwards. To that time, Astra left alone, and our members stayed at TK and told we will stay, but they still went that route of treating us like nothing. So what I'm understanding from this is the leadership part of T1 left, but the core members that came in with T1, they told them just stay, win the KVK, get the rewards, and then we'll see what we do. That's my understanding. Meanwhile, I guess the leadership tried to take the Home Kingdom dragon. This is the last thing that he wanted to add. Well, and to add to the list, some of them even mocked Astra while he was still war leading against Bourne. If I remember, it was this Lisan guy that she told him because Astra sent an archer rally at that Darkling and Bourne attacked it. The report was nice 1 to 30 trades. I mean, this is just already like personal opinions, but using Kinara Husk or Husk with something for high counter-attack counter rallies, we are trading fine, is completely good. But yeah, now this for me is problematic, but still Lisan openly said in a line chat that he is dumb and that this rally isn't working. Now, you don't handle leadership, like leadership versus leadership issues, you don't handle them on public spaces. Because one, you're subtracting from the other person his leadership position, as everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And you have other channels that, like, all the leadership of any kingdoms have to deal with this. So I think this is like not bueno. So in conclusion, I think this was due to happen mainly because what I see is that there's two parts of leadership that are not really agreeing with each other. You cannot have a merge like this, you know? Like, you cannot have two parts of a leadership fighting each other all the time to see who's right, who's wrong, and try to make a successful kingdom. I think, I don't know, like, I think in one part TK did wrong for trying to remove someone who was being successful, as it was Astra on war leading, and that they incited this, like, betrayal, I guess, or civil war, I don't know how you want to call it. In the other part, like, I don't know, Astra maybe went a bit too far with the wording, but it's tricky because I get it, you know, like, if you give someone a plan and it's working and now they strip it, like, ignore it, and then decide to go their own way and it fails and it removes all the work you did, you know, like, I get it that you lose a bit your shit. Now, the thing that I think the Astra side did wrong is just do this, like, just stay on the alliance, ignore them, get the rewards, win the KVK, and then tell them, look, there you go, I'm out. You take your people and you move somewhere else, you know? Like, probably there were more heated conversations, which led to Astra just saying, fuck this, I don't care about the KVK, let's go full rogue. But again, I think that's the main issue that Astra did, which is, like, the timing, you know? Like, you don't really want to do that on your final zone with the risk of losing Dragon. By the side of TK, I think they shouldn't have, like, I think just probably their ego just they were just being controlled by their ego and their need to showcase that they are the actual leadership, which that to me speaks that the merge wasn't really, like, that well planned. Like, too much ego and too much character altogether. But yeah, catch you in the next one.